Hello guys, so let's continue from the last lesson that we had. So oh my god, it's kind of noisy, I know. Maririnig nyo sa background yung it's time for prayer kasi it's time for prayer dito. So you will have it in the background. You'll hear this one sa background. So let's start. Last time, lesson natin, we started with, Unit 1. Lesson 1 is all about family. So we know na in Korean, family is 가족. So 가족 is a noun. And we've learned also a few, Korean vocabularies that are, that are relevant to the word family. Like what do you call grandfather in Korean? It's called 할아버지. What do you call grandmother in Korean? It's 할머니. What do you call father in Korean? It's 아버지. And mother in Korean is 어머니. Your siblings, 동생. If you are a male and you have an older brother, you call 형. An older sister, you call 누나. If you're a female and you have an older brother, you call 오빠. And an older sister, you call 언니. But if you have younger siblings, and you want to be specific, if you have a female younger sibling or a male younger sibling, for a female, from the root word 여자, which means woman, you remove the ja and you affix the word 동생, which means sibling. Then you have 여동생, which means younger sibling. A female younger sibling. And from the root word 남자, which means a man, you remove the word ja and you attach the word 동생, and you have 남동생, which means a younger male brother. Okay? So, nandito po lahat yan na na-discuss natin. 가족, and husband in Korean is 남편, and wife in Korean is 아내 or 부인. Okay? And then we've learned the interrogative pronouns. We have 누구, which means who, 누가, which means who, but with a subject particle ga. And then kubun, ibun, this person honorific if you're referring to sino tong tao na to, if you're malapit to the person you're referring to. Kubun means you're pointing to someone closer to the listener than to you, the speaker. And tobun means you're referring to a person that is far from you, the speaker, and the listener. So tobun. Ibun, this person. Kubun, that person. Tobun, that person over there, which is far away from the two of us talking. And then so additional vocabularies you might want to take note of. So 회사, I'm going to highlight them one by one. 회사 means company. 회사. And then 다니다 means to go to a company or to work for a company. 다니다. Okay, so whenever a verb has a da ending, that's like the base form of the verb. Like 다니다, 먹다, 가다, 오다, 주다, 차다. Kot, flower. 장미 is rose. So kot, 장미. 도서관 is library. In Japanese it's 도서관. 아침, morning. 간호사 is nurse. Then 명 is the unit counter for a number of person. And then you have 대학생, which means a university student or a college student. If it's like an elementary, it's I think it's 초등학생. Yes. So 대학생, 초등학생. 사랑하다, verb, to love. 맞다, right. Or it can also be used for whether you've been inoculated or vaccinated. Vaccine 맞았어요 means have you been vaccinated? So 맞다, 맞아요 means that's right. 정말, really, yun yun expression nila. 정말요 means sure ka? Sure? Ganon. 사진, like I said, photo, 사진. 예쁘다 is an adjective, but it also ends with a ta, which means it's like the base form of that adjective. 예뻐요. In a sentence, you don't use the ta form or the base form of the adjective or of the verb. It becomes conjugated with with the ending that appropriately expresses what the speaker's intention is. So 예쁘다, pretty. 결혼하다 means to marry. 결혼하다, da again, the base form. 결혼하다. And 작년 means last year. So 작년, last year. 올해 this year. It's like it's like 올해, but you say 올해. And let me just show that how it's pronounced. It's ore. Sorry, I'm studying Spanish and Korean at the same time, so I want to make sure. Yeah, so this is how it's pronounced.
ore.
Oh, sorry, it's ore. U, not O. So it's written like this. Where is the whiteboard? Okay. So, sorry. It's written like this. Ul, actually, but it's pronounced as R because it's not coupled with another L. So, re. Yep. H. And then this AE. So it's like, oh, sorry. Oops. It's like ul he. Remember, if the L is not coupled with another L, then it's usually pronounced as R. So ure. Okay. So 작년 is last year, ure is this year, and 내년 is next year. Okay? And then, so words that go together. So when you say, oh, I work for a company. Company is 회사. Okay, so if you say I go to work, or I go to the company, or I work for this company, you just say 회사에 다니다. If you are a student and you say I go to the school, you say the name of the school. For example, if it's university, it's 학교 is actually the Korean word for school. 대학교 is a university. So 대학교에 다녀요. 대학교에 다니다, the base form. So, if you just want to say in the present time, you say 대학교에 다녀요. 회사에 다녀요. Okay, finally we're moving on, talking about family members. Okay, we're done with this. So we have talking about ones, seniors, and elders. So if you're talking about someone who is older than you, like I said, instead of ending it with an 이에요 ending, instead of 이에요 or 예요, you end with 세요 or 이세요. Okay, so the rule before is 이에요. Oh, okay. Wala siya. Okay. So, kapag someone older than you yung nire-refer mo o tinuturo mo or ina-address mo, then you definitely have to say seyo. And the spelling of seyo is like this. Seyo. Okay? Seyo. That's the ending. If it ends with a vowel, then just add seyo. If it ends with a consonant, then add e plus 이세요. Oops, sorry. Why did I make an A? 이세. Oh my god, it's so difficult to write using the mouse. 이세요. But don't worry, I just ordered on Amazon a Korean keyboard, so it's a lot easier for me to just type rather than, write on a whiteboard. It's kind of difficult to make straight lines even. 이세요. That's 이세요. This is 세요. This is 이세요. Okay? Moving on. So, 이세요 is a combination of 이예요 and 예요, and 우, she, which shows respect towards the subject. Okay? Nouns ending with a vowel, of course, like I said, you add 세요. Like 아버지 ends with I, so you say 아버지세요. And nouns ending with a consonant, you add 이 plus 세요. Like 선생님, which is a teacher, or Mr. 선생님이세요. Okay? And grammar points. The interrogative 누구 is used with ul, 롤, this are object marker, and 예, as in 누구를, 누구예, to indicate the case. But the combination of 누구 and the subject particle 이 or 가 is not 누구가, but rather 누가, but. Yeah. So, 누가 전화했어요. Who called? 누구를 전화했어요. Who did you call? 누구의 가방이에요. Whose bag is this? So, you say who. So if you add 누구를, this is an object particle, right? And an object is the receiver of the action. So if I put 전화했어요, oh my god, it's just so long. So difficult. 전화. Freaking. 전화했어요. 했어요 is the past term of 하다, which means do. So 했어요 means did, and 전화 means call. So this is past form for call, which is called. And if you use 룰, means object. 누구를 전화했어요? So it's not the subject, it's the object. So technically you're saying sinong tinawagan mo? 전화했어요. Who did you call? 룰 전화했어요. But if you say 누가, 누가 is a subject marker. 누가 plus 전화했어요, which means called, means who called. This is the subject eh. Diba? So who called? See the difference? 누구를. Who did you call? And if you say 누구의, it's a possessive. You've learned about if you're adding this to any noun, it indicates possessive, what do you call that? It indicates possessive form of that noun. So for example, instead of, for example, whose juice is this? Or let's just say whose bag? I have a bag here. Whose bag is this? 누구의 가방이에요? So I want to prove that to you. I'll type it down. 누구의 가방이에요? Okay, this is how it says.
누구의 가방이에요?
And this is in English.
Whose bag is it?
See? Told you. So, 누구를 누가 and 누구의, they are all who, but they all pertains to, they denote different meanings. So 누구를 for object, 누가 for subject, 누구의 possessive. Okay? Let's go back. So that's the rule for, now let's have a practice. Circle the correct sentence ending. We are on this part, huh? Okay, so let's start. Number 1. Oh, sorry. Why is it highlighting the whole thing? Why am I? Okay, number 1. Circle the correct sentence ending. Remember the correct ending when you're addressing someone senior and older, it ends with seyo. If it's just a normal conversation with someone who is of your same age or a peer or, someone not older and close to you or a friend. So number 1, if you read 할아버지는 의사. What is 의사? 의사 means, if 간호사 means nurse, 의사 means doctor. Okay? So 할아버지는 의사세요 or 이세요? What is the ending of 의사? It's a vowel. So if it's a vowel, you can add 세요. If it's a consonant, you add 이세요. So for number 1, it should be 할아버지는 의사세요. As for my grandfather, he's a doctor. 할아버지는 의사세요. Next. 그분은 은행원세요 or 이세요? 은행원. 은행 means bank. And 은행원 means like a bank employee or a bank worker. So 그분은, 그 means that, 분 person, honorific, 은 is topic marker. So 그분은, as for that person over there, 은행원세요 or 이세요? 은행원 ends with a consonant, so you add 이세요. 그분은 은행원이세요. So you say 그분은 은행원이세요. 네, I will type that. 그분은 은행원이세요. He is a banker. So
그분은 은행원이세요.
그분은 은행원이세요.
He is a banker.
그분은 은행원이세요.
그분은 은행원이세요. Next. Third. 어머니는 요리사세요 or 이세요? What is 요리사? 요리하다 means cook, to cook. That's the verb. But when you add sa, 요리사 means cook. Her mother is a cook. So 어머니는, as for my mother, 요리사세요. Why? Because it ends with a vowel. So you just add 세요. 요리사세요. Okay, last but not the least. 할머니는 선생님세요 or 이세요? It ends with a consonant, M, so you add 이세요. 할머니는 선생님이세요. 선생님이세요. 할머니는 선생님이세요. Okay, choose the correct word from the box to complete each sentence. Like what I've said earlier, 누가, 누구의, 누구를. There's an example. A. 누가 전화했어요? Who called? 누가 전화했어요? 동생이 전화했어요. 동생. You remember 동생? Sibling. 동생이. 이 and 가. 이 and 가. These are subject identifiers or markers. You add them to a noun, to the subject of your sentence. So if it ends with a consonant, then you add E. For example, 가방, 가방이, or 선생님, 선생님이. You don't say 가방가 or 선생님가. Ga is added if the ending of a noun is a vowel. For example, 가수. What is a 가수? 가수 is a singer. 가수가. Okay, let me just check that if my singer. So here he answered, 동생이 전화했어요. My sibling called. Or brother or sister. Hindi niya minention kung babae o lalaki. Basta sabi niya lang, 동생이, younger sibling. Okay, number 1. A. Blank. 구두예요. What is 구두? Kudu is shoes. Okay, that pala pinapakita. Kaso mahirap pala siyang i-type kasi wala pa yung aking Korean keyboard. Pag nandiyan yung Korean keyboard ko, ita-type ko na lang. Tapos ipapakita ko rin sa inyo yung Google Translate noon para mas madaling maintindihan. Okay? So, blank. 구두예요. 구두예요. Kudu is shoes. Yeyo is ending. Ibig sabihin, hindi masyadong matanda sa kanila yung, hindi matanda sa kanila yung, it's normal conversation. Hindi siya senior or in authority or whatever. Ang sagot, or actually, hindi niya man kasi alam kung mas matanda talaga. Tinatanong niya nga kung kumbaga, yung blank nito, kaninong shoes to? Diba? 구두예요. So, pipili ka, is it 누가, 누구의, 누구를? What is the answer? Is it 누가, 누구의, 누구를? What's the answer? 누구의.
누구의?
누구의. So, the answer is 누구의, because it's possession. Tinatanong whose, hindi naman who, diba? Whose shoes are this? You don't say whose shoes is this, diba? So, 누구의. The answer for 1 is 누구의. 누구의 구두예요. 어머니의 구두예요. You see the answer, it also has 예 in the ending ng noun or ng subject. It's 어머니, mother, 예. This is a possessive particle. 구두예요. This is the noun. And then number 2, blank, 많았어요. 많았어요 means past tense ng 많았어요 is from the word 많았다, which means meet. So past tense na siya kasi meron na siyang as어요. So you say 많았어요 means met. So ang sagot is 친구를 만났어요. So ano dapat nandito? 누가 o 누구의? O 누구를? Remember, ang tanong dito sa English ay who did you meet? Right? So it's the recipient of the verb meet. So dapat it's 누구를. Rule is an object particle or marker. Ga is a subject marker. So dito we're asking sinong na-meet mo or minute mo. 친구를 만났어요. I met with my friend. So 누구를. Number 3, blank. 왔어요. sinong dumating. 왔어요 is from the root word 오다. 오다, which means come. Okay? So, past tense, 왔어요. 오다, tatanggalin yung ta, tapos lalagyan mo ng os어요 or os어요 or 왔어요. That means past tense yon. So, 왔어요 means came. Who came? Hindi mo na pwede sabing whose came. Diba? Ngayon, ang tanong na lang, is it duga or dugurul? Pwede bang dugurul? Kasi yung subject is dumating. Wala namang recipient yung dumating. I think. So, it's the subject. Sinong dumating? 누가 왔어요? 친구가 왔어요. You can see that from the answer also, right? It has 친구가. The subject is 친구. Siya yung dumating eh. Dito naman, 친구를. Siya kasi yung minute. Siya yung receiver ng action. And number 4, blank. 할아버지세요. Kaninong grandfather to? Whose grandfather is this? Is he? Sorry. Blank. 할아버지세요. 우리 할아버지세요. My grandfather. 우리 할아버지세요. So, the answer here is 누구의 할아버지세요? 누구의 할아버지세요? Whose grandfather is he? So, yay! So, you've learned how to use 누가, 누구의, and 누구를. If it's an object of the verb, then it's 누구를. 를 is the object marker. And 누구의 if it's possessive, and 누가 if it's the subject. You're asking who, and who is the subject. Okay? Okay, so we had that practice. Let us, ang dami palang rules. Let's have some conversation drills, okay, before I end. So, this is the English version of that, but let's go read the Korean version, okay? So here he says, Gina 씨, 이분은 누구세요? So Gina, this person, who is this person? 우리 아버지세요. My father. 아버지는 무슨 일을 하세요? 아버지는, as for your father, 무슨 일을 하세요? 무슨 means what? 일 means work. ul is again object marker. And 하세요 is a honorific, or like, a respectful way of saying, what does he do for a living? 하세요. So you say 아버지는 무슨 일을 하세요? And then answer 은행에서 일하세요. 일하세요. But you say 일하세요. So 은행 is a bank. 에서 is a marker that says it's happening in the bank. For example, whatever it is. I don't know. If house in Korean is chib. If you put eso after house, you have chibeso. Chibeso, and then if you want to make a sentence using chibeso, you can add anything, any verb. It means that verb is is happening or taking place in the house. For example, I'm eating kimchi at home. So you say 집에서, at home, kimchi 먹어요, or 먹고 있어요. I am eating kimchi at home. 집에서, at home. 김치를, that's the object of the verb, and the verb is eating. 먹고 있어요, or just say 먹어요. Okay? And then the next conversation drill we have, this one is less formal. So this is the formal one. It ends with 세요, 세요, 세요. You can see 누구세요, 아버지세요, 일을 하세요, 일하세요. 은행원에서 일하세요. I'm working at the bank. That's the meaning of that. 은행에서 일하세요. 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 Yung kasing L nila pag mag-isa lang, nagiging R. So, I'll make you hear that. 일하세요.
일하세요.
See? 일하세요. Ir. Like, biglang naging R. So, yung less formal naman ends with 이에요 and 예요. 이 사람은 누구예요? This person, who is this? Same lang siya but less formal. Kasi nga, it doesn't end with seo, it ends with yeyo or iyeyo. The same rule applies. Kapag ka consonant ang ending, you add iyeyo. Kapag vowel ang ending, you add yeyo. Okay? 제 동생이에요. 제. Since it's not, you don't have to be really polite. You probably are talking to someone of your age. So instead of saying 우리, you say 제 or 네. 네 or 제 means 너예 and 저예, possessive. My sibling. 동생 is younger sibling. So 제 동생이에요. 동생 ends with a consonant, so you add 이에요. This is 이에요. This is 예요. 예요, 이에요. Okay? 동생은 뭘 해요? 동생은, as for your brother, 뭘 해요? What is he doing? 뭘 해요? You see the difference? 일을 하세요. Very polite. 일을 하세요. What does he do? What does he do for a living? What's his work? Dito naman, because it's a younger sibling, you say 볼. 볼 is 뭐를. Shortcut ng 뭐를 하세요. ito rin, 일을 하세요. 뭘 하세요. It's the same. It's from the word 보. 보 means what? That's 보. 보, if you add L, it becomes an object because it has a particle. So it's 뭘 하세요, 뭘 해요. 학생이에요. He's a student. 학생 is student. 학생이에요. 대학생이에요. A university student. 초등학생이에요. Elementary student. Okay. I guess we can wrap it up here. Remember the endings. If it's someone senior or in authority, you use 해요. Usually that's when you're addressing your grandfather, grandmother, mother, and father. But if you're addressing your younger siblings, you can just use 예요 and 이예요 as the sentence ending. Okay? That's about it. Till next time. So, 다음에 만나요. 다음에 보자. Bye bye.